welcome back to Promises to Keep. Honestly though, this the way the developer drew this picture here with the snow and the city and the night lights, power out in the city and everything like that and the music. I don't think I could give it a higher compliment because it's so perfectly built to be just peaceful and relaxing. Like I look at this and it almost makes me like want to cry. I don't know. Sometimes it's just little simple things that does that for me, but I really do like music with pianos and like snowfall and stuff like this. This really just entraps me right here into a bunch of different memories that I've had over the years and things like that. So I don't know. I get to sit here and stare at this main menu forever. Honestly, I've actually been sitting here for like 10 minutes looking at it as I've been thinking about things because it puts me into thought. It puts me into thought. But anyways, enough of my nonsense. Let's begin. Where did we leave off? Oh yes, we were entering the den. Let's just back it up just a little bit, real quick. There we go. The den is this way. We file out of the kitchen and down a short hallway and through some double doors into the den. It's smaller than the other rooms, with a large air mattress taking up a good chunk of the floor space. Aside from that, the den houses only a couple cozy chairs. I noticed several small potted plants on a table against the wall. I recognized 2 different kinds of succulents, and then some other green things. My knowledge of houseplants is less than stellar. Just a few, you know, I'm not the type to keep big ones with lots of soil and all that mess. What about the one in the living room? He laughs, he's a little embarrassed. Oh, those are fake. I like the idea of having plants there, but didn't really want to take care of them, so... As he speaks, he begins to gently water the large plant from where I'm standing. The little elephant is facing right at me. These guys, he points to the succulents, just get a little bit, obviously, not very often. Glad I remembered them though, they look quite thirsty today. I hadn't pegged Theo as a plant dad, but looking at how gentle and careful he handles them, it makes perfect sense. This is really nice space. I say, looking around, taking in the details for the first time. A bookshelf, 2 little side tables next to each of the chairs, a leather-bound volume lying open on one of the cushions. It seems like an excellent place to read. Best seat in the house. Though I haven't made much use of it lately. My readings have really slipped this year, barely gotten through 5 books. Judging from the width of most of the titles on the shelf, that still seems impressive to me. There we go, he says, topping off the final plant with the remains of the can. You can have a little extra today as a treat. Oh, he snaps his fingers. There's one more in my bedroom too. If you want to see it, she'll also need a bit of water today. Sure, lead the way. Theo leads me upstairs and down the hall to the master bedroom. Once we enter, he makes his way over to a medium-sized hanging plant suspended from the ceiling in one of the corners. And here she is. Give me a second, I'm gonna fill this little guy up again. He taps the little elephant and heads through the door into what must be the bathroom. I take a look around the room, a little sheepishly at first. It's okay, I tell myself, clearly he doesn't mind you being up here. Theo's room is neatish, that probably is the best word to describe it. The bed is made, but the blankets and pillows are a little crooked. The desk is completely covered with papers and manila folders, but all efficiently stacked and organized. The walk-in closet doors wide open, revealing a forest of similar looking clothes. I definitely see 2 or 3 copies of the exact same outfit he's wearing right now. That also makes sense for Theo. I know when he comes to fashion, he's very copy-paste. Here we go. He emerges from the bathroom, full elephant in tow. Thanks for letting me give you a little tour. I'm proud of this house and I like showing it off to people. I'm surprised, it's a lovely place, really. Yes, He says simply, his eyes once again travel somewhere else. Yes, it is. The tone of his voice changes completely, deeper, more husky. He starts to pour the water into the hanging plant, gently moving his leaves aside for the better access. You know, it really is my pleasure to get some use out of it, though, to see it full again. It's just been a while since. At that moment, the water begins to pour out of the hanging pot onto the floor, and Theo lets out a yelp of surprise. Oh crap, I always overwater this one. Just give me a second. As I race into the bathroom and grab the towel, as I return seeing Theo failing to catch the water in his cupped paws. Here, I got it. I drop to the floor and start to mop up the spill. It's not that much, really, and the fluffy towel soaks it up quite nicely. I'm sorry, Brandon, I'm such a klutz. Must be my advanced age. He laughs and foolhardily paws the still dripping water, and I can't help but join him. Hey, old man. I offer him a towel to dry his paws. Good thing you've got us youngsters around, huh? Yes, indeed. Theo puts on his best old man voice as he takes the towel. And you youngsters are welcome back any time for any reason. But for now, I think we should probably head back to the kitchen, just in case Artemis needs any help with anything. I probably shouldn't have left him to fend off for himself, actually. Fair enough, he seems like he knows what he's doing, though. Judging from the smell already wafting through the house, he's making miracles down there. As I take one last look around the bedroom, my thoughts catch up with me. All of this was happening so fast. Less than 24 hours ago, I was on my way out of this place. I was excited to file onto a plane and leave this frozen city behind. Less than 24 hours ago, I was gearing up for another quiet night alone in my dusty apartment, just me and my phone and the endless rolling thoughts. And now, I have an open invitation to Theo's house, and Rofi and I still have so much more to catch up on. I'm sure that dog will force me to accompany him on a walk when the weather clears up. Not that I mind that, of course. It seems almost surreal. I'm pulled back into reality once we reach the stairwell. As we descend past the mirrored collection of photos, my curiosity gets the better of me. Hey, Theo. Is this you and your aunt? I point to the photo that caught my eye earlier. Theo's 17th birthday, 2005. Yes, that's me and my aunt, MJ. Theo's eyes turn wistful, and his eyes on focus. She was always so good to me. My 17th was my best birthday I ever had. I watch him relive the day in his head. I'm assuming she brought you that car. That's a pretty sweet gift. Yep. And I totaled it a few days later. His voice turns bitter without warning, and the mood sours at once. We hang in uncomfortable silence for a moment, before his eyes refocus and he drags his mouth back into the familiar Theo smile. But anyways, that was a good long time ago. I won't bore you with the old story. Let's not keep Artemis waiting, huh? Yeah. Listen, Theo, I didn't mean to. He waves his paws to cut me off. No, don't apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. Come on, I'm sure we're needed in the kitchen. He turns and strides purposefully down the stairs, and I hurry after him to catch up. The eyes in the photo seem to follow us as we go. Artemis looks up as we enter, clearly ready to delegate a task. Theo, I'd appreciate it if you'd help set up the table. He considers for a moment. I suppose we don't all have to eat at the same place, at the same time, but it would be nice. Well, this is my house, and I say we do have to. Theo says playfully with a twinkle in his eyes. At least for a night, help us all settle in with each other. Artemis nods in response. Agreed. Brandon, would you mind fetching the others for dinner? Sure. If you have trouble with Ollie, just get me. I'll extract him from his room. He's probably built quite a nest already. Gotcha. I head up the stairs and towards Ollie's room. I find the door open and I peek in to see Ollie still fussing with his cables still. It's been hours. Just how much did he bring? I knock softly at the door frame, and the Saditas Dino jumps in surprise. Oh. Oh, Brandon, it's you. I'm sorry, I was just rearranging some things here. Can I help you? You're fine, I didn't mean to startle you. Artemis is done making dinner and sent me to collect everybody. Oh, Artemis made dinner already? Ollie lets out a bark of laughter, high and clear. Just a few hours in the door and already taking over the kitchen? Isn't it a bit early, too? He checks his phone and his eyebrows shoot up. Oh wow, I didn't realize it was so late already. Guess I've been fiddling around up here for a while. He looks around at the mess of electronics and wires and seems to remember his shyness. Sorry about the mess, and I know I made a scene earlier and made you and the others carry all my stuff, and the demeanor totally changed. The apologies start pouring out of him. I hold my paws up to cut him off. Hey, whoa, it's okay, I didn't mind at all. I should be apologizing, I almost dropped that one box. No, it's my fault really, I should have just carried it up myself. We both laugh a bit awkwardly at the mutual apology standoff. Well, regardless of whose fault it is, I like that I've seen your setup so far. Any chance you'd let me take a closer look once it's properly assembled? Ollie brightens up immediately. Absolutely. I should be done by tonight, that is if you don't have any plans already. My stomach chooses that moment to growl loudly. Apparently I'm focused on dinner first. Ollie's stomach responds, his cheeks go red. Me too, I forgot I haven't eaten anything today. I blink in alarm. Nothing at all. Since this morning, you're going downstairs to eat some dinner right now. I remember with a pang of irony that also I hadn't eaten anything today. Well, Ollie doesn't need to know that. I have to collect Rofi and Hunter, but I'll see you in the kitchen. Okay. The only thing is, I have to finish a few things here first, or I'll never know where I left off. I'll be downstairs, I promise. Okay, you better. I'll see you soon. I leave Ollie to his work and walk down the hall to Rofi's room. I hear the sound of video games and voices before I reach the open door. Guess they're both here. The two of them are sprawled in front of the TV, Rofi hunched over his controller, Hunter spread out flat on his belly, foot paws kicking in the air. Looks like they're playing a racing game. A devious smile spreading across my face as I call out loudly from the doorway, "Don't mess up!" Rofi yelps and jumps up, clearing the impressive height, and his cart flies right off the map into the abyss. "Brandon, that's not fair, that doesn't count." Hunter bursts into ridiculous laughter as he crosses the finish line and triumphant music plays. I dodge a hasty thrown pillow, holding back the giggles myself. It's dinner time, you guys. Artemis made food for all of us. Oh, sick. The raccoon pulls himself off the floor and discards his controller. What did he make? No idea, but it smells delicious. We'll see when we get down there. Well, what are we standing around for? Let's go. We make another stop at Ollie's room to remind him about dinner. And then all four of us start heading to the kitchen, following our noses and growling stomachs, enjoying the smell wafting through the house. The cavalry has arrived. Artemis looks up from the stove, scans down the line until he sees Ollie, then nods at me, a silent thank you. They're all here. So, we're gonna start with the salad and breadsticks, obviously. Obviously, how much food did he make? Then the main course is baked sea bass, potato puree, and carrots on the side. I hope I made enough for everybody. And before we begin, let me apologize. This isn't my best work. Bro, what do you mean? It smells delicious. It certainly does, and at the moment I'm hungry enough not to care what it is. There's something about the smell of good food that just makes everyone feral. I could have done better with higher quality ingredients and more time, but this will do. Artemis, I'm sure it's delicious, and regardless, we're all grateful for it. Theo's reply is reassuringly warm, voicing the group's opinion at large. Well, I warned you. Here, line up your plates and I'll serve. Plate by plate, Artemis creates a gorgeous-looking dish for everyone. And before long, all 6 of us sitting around the kitchen table digging in. Everything was spectacular, of course. Sometimes it really feels like the quality of the food is directly proportional to how much the chef complains about it. Artemis, this is delicious. It's decent, but I'll do better tomorrow night. Artemis looks pointedly at Theo. You'll let me cook tomorrow too, right? Theo laughs, covered his mouth with a paw, and waits to finish chewing. Artemis, you are free to come make dinner whenever you like. Easy there, Grandpa. That wasn't an open invitation. I take a moment to look around the table at my new housemates. I can basically see the stars in Rofi's eyes as he shovels down his food. As I expected, he still eats like a maniac. Hunter, however, is giving him a serious run for his money. The two of them create honestly a hilarious tableau, both so intense and focused on their dinner. I can't help but giggle a bit watching the meat. Hunter looks up from his plate for a second. Hey, what are you laughing at, Brandon? Nothing, it's just fun to watch you two eat. Agreed. You haven't gotten anywhere to be. You know, take your time, savor it. Rofi and Hunter shake their heads in unison and return to their serious work. Looking over at Ollie, I can see he's also focused on his food, but in a different way. The dino's eyes soft and thoughtful, his lips curled into a slight smile as he takes his small, deliberate bites. I know his expression well. If he were a cat, I'd be purring loudly right now. I get it. At the moment, I'm struggling to hold back my own purrs. Despite his cool veneer, Artemis' eyes are flickering around the table, clearly gauging everyone's reactions to the food. Theo seems ecstatic, but in the usual quiet way. I know he's enjoying the food, but from the way he looks around at the table, it seems he's enjoying the company more. I think back to that moment on the stairs, the look in his eyes, the hitch in his voice. Dinner progresses with little talking, all of us firmly occupied with our plates. As things start to wind down, Artemis sets down his fork and stands. Y'all better have room for dessert. I didn't slave away over a hot stove for my work to go unappreciated. Dessert? The way Hunter looks when they say dessert, that's funny. What's also interesting is it's Thanksgiving morning right now, so like my tummy's growling and I'm just hearing them eat this delicious food and I'm sitting here like, I need something to eat. But there's gonna be Thanksgiving dinner tonight. I'm gonna have some turkey. I'm gonna have some food. Oh. I'm sitting here just imagining what my Thanksgiving dinner is gonna be like tonight. Anyways, let's continue. I've never seen someone so excited in my life. Artemis gets up and makes his way to the oven. He swings the door open carefully, and we're all greeted to the warm scents of cinnamon and vanilla. I can practically feel the table vibrate with anticipation as Artemis extracts the dish and brings it to us. He sits down, but before anyone moves, he speaks up. Hold up now, don't get any ideas. I'll grab the glaze first. None of us has noticed the small pot still simmering on the stove. He uncovers it and brings it over and starts drizzling the sticky glaze over the dessert. Then he sets down the pot and starts dividing the dessert into slices. A thump-thump sound breaks the silence and we all look over to Rofi, whose tail is beating against the seat in anticipation. The table breaks out into laughter, minus Rofi, still laser-focused on Artemis's movements. The bird smiles and generously gives him the first plate. So, we have a pretty simple bread pudding for dessert, toppled with sweet bourbon drizzle. I don't do dessert super often, so I hope this does. Artemis's introduction is interrupted by a gasp from Rofi. This is so yummy! Seems like you have a verdict, Artemis. Let's eat this before it gets cold. Some light chatter happens during dessert, but everyone's mostly focused on the sugary goodness that Artemis has put together. It really is the perfect ending to a satisfying meal. After a few more minutes of conversation, folks start to peel off. Theo gets up to collect everyone's plates, firmly shooting Artemis away when he inevitably tries to help. The Blue Jays next to Belle, Ollie trailing close behind him, both of them engrossed in their phones. Hunter lets out a yawn and does a huge full-body stretch, filling what seems to be most of the kitchen with his arms. I think I might go lay down. Hunter nudges Rofi gently, but it looks like he already fallen asleep in his chair. A soft, content smile on the puppy's face. Huh? I'm heading upstairs, you coming? Rofi nods drowsily as he gets up, playfully leaning on Hunter as they leave the table. Hunter calls back to the kitchen. Have a good night, y'all. Both Theo and I call back to him, sending him and Rofi off. Then Theo turns to me. You done with your plate, Brandon? Hmm? Oh yeah, I think so. Do you want me to help with the dishes? Nope, not at all. I like doing them. Gives me time to think. You're free to entertain yourself however you wish. I'm giving you the rest of the night off. Theo chuckles at his own joke as he starts loading the plates into the dishwasher. I stand up slowly, feeling warm and pleasantly full. Outside, the wind howls and beats the window. The snow still hasn't stopped. I wasn't quite ready for bed, but it seemed like Rofi and Hunter were both calling it a night. That left Artemis and Ollie. I wonder what each of them are up to. Who should I spend time with? Um, I feel like Ollie was wanting to show me his setup. I feel like Artemis, he kind of just made dinner and he's probably tired, so let's go to Ollie.